Like this space was already here before y'all even started this. Like body positivity has existed within our community for years. We just didn't have a term for it. It was just love.
Welcome to our next episode of Black and Excellent. We have here with us body positive advocate, influencer, author, model. Ooh, you do it all. Let's jump right in. Tell us more about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Kelvin Davis. I was born and raised in Columbia, South Carolina, so I'm a Southern boy at heart. I've always been into fashion ever since I was a kid, always been into art. And luckily for me, I had parents that really embraced that and really embraced the fact that I was into art and into fashion. So I was never shamed as a little boy for loving those kind of things, which all in all helped me develop my confidence and my personality to when I got older, even when I started to gain a little bit of weight and, was, a little bit insecure of how my body looked. I always knew that no matter where I was, I would always be the best dressed guy in the room. So that's what gave me confidence. I started my blog in 2012 after a bad shopping experience. I had just graduated from college. So I was an art major at the University of South Carolina, and I decided that I wanted to be an art educator. I taught a basic art class for 6th and 7th graders. Okay. And I wanted to get some newer clothes to feel confident in myself, because I'm I want to dress professional, but I still want to have that Kelvin, kind of swag to it. So I like colors. So I went to go get this red blazer. Unfortunately, the only size, the largest size that they had was a 44. And I was wearing a 48, 46 at the time. So I asked for a larger size, and the sales associate told me that I was too fat to shop there.
Oh, wait a minute now.
I know. I was wait a damn minute. What? Yeah. And it was my first time as a guy being publicly body shamed. It's as guys, we'll tease each other. And in college, you have friends that'll mess around and stuff. But to actually be publicly body shamed in front of people that you don't know, I think it hurt more because, it came from somebody of the opposite sex. I feel if it came from another male, I wouldn't have took it as harshly, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I took it very harshly because I know women, no matter their size, have always dealt with body image issues in some way, right? So I just felt this woman saying this to me, I was damn, she really meant that shit. Wow. I was she supposed to be having a bad day. Jesus, a bad year or something. That was my first real moment feeling really insecure about who I was. And I started to realize there's a lot of guys that probably feel the same way that I do, but don't have a platform. I don't have the ability to speak about it. And I always wanted to start a fashion blog, but I wanted to have a blog that had an underlining meaning to it. I just didn't want to post pictures and look cool and with no context to it. I wanted to do it to promote body positivity. And at this time, body positivity wasn't even really a thing. I don't even think I called it a body positive menswear blog until 2016, but it was just a blog to make men of all shapes and sizes feel confident. That was the sole goal, was to help all men be no matter what size you are, no matter how you look, no matter how tall, short, wide, skinny, you can all look cool. And I would give tailoring advice. I would give different advice to men of different sizes, just to tell them what looks good on your body. And around 2017, it just blew up. And I just became this online entity because the body positivity movement for women was was to a height where people couldn't even, it was just everywhere, right? So just based off of public curiosity, people would Google male body positivity, and lo and behold, I was the first thing that would always come up. So just based off this public curiosity, I became this online selected voice of male body positivity.
I know people hear body positivity and may not know what it is, may think body neutrality, but what for you, what is body positivity?
It is the act and the form of you loving your body at the state it is in its present state. No matter what society deems as being beautiful, you are comfortable with who you are, with what you look like, and you appreciate your body for not only what it looks like, but what it can do for you. I feel people really get hung up in how their body looks and they forget about the things that their body does for them every day. I really feel like COVID helped people realize that, because it's like, you take for granted the simple fact of breathing. You take for granted the simple fact of, not being sick or being, like able-bodied, all these things, right? And then when COVID happens and, some people suffered a lot more than others, I felt like that helped people understand what body positivity was to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's like the media and the societal and the mental version of it. Whereas like we turn on the TV and we look at magazines and we see the same old fair skin, fair skinned person, this and that, blonde hair, blue eyes, or like abs, this and that, or like, the woman that's like slim, thick, But it's like, okay, yeah, that's a form of beauty. That's one of the many forms, sure. But there's also like hundreds of other forms of beauty that need to be celebrated as well.
So does body positivity only live in a land of looks, or is, because what I'm hearing from you is more of having a lens of gratitude for your body overall? Okay.
That's how I feel. I feel like body positivity can be taken to somebody about how your body just looks and being positive about how your body looks. But I think that's only one element of it, because you can be satisfied with how your body looks and still treat your body like shit. Being, to me, body positive is not only being positive that your body is great, but doing positive things for your body, you know? So you have to do positive things for your body, mentally and physically. And it doesn't really matter what size you are, because people are always like, well, the body positivity movement's only for fat people. I'm like, no, body positivity is literally for everybody, every size, every race, every gender, everybody. Like anybody that has a body can be body positive. And I think what happened was, like, whenever it first started, it became a movement for people of different sizes, of larger bodies, to like celebrate themselves. And I think that took over the message overall of like, everybody should be body positive. I feel like there's like the main thing that I think I have problem with the body positivity community is the fact that people of color aren't often celebrated in it.
Yeah.
And I say that because it's like, how can you be body positive and be racist? Like, it cannot be you can't be body positive and racist at the same time. The biggest part of my body isn't the size of me. The first thing people notice is that A, I'm Black, and B, I'm a male. That's the first thing that they see. So in like a societal standpoint, I have to be body positive that I'm Black, and body positive that I'm a Black male, and that I'm confident in who I am, even though society and sometimes the media paints me out to be this villain.
So you brought body positivity to the main stage. What was that journey like, particularly as a Black male?
It was really difficult at first. I'm never going to cap. Like, when I first started it, I didn't realize what I was doing. I just was trying to make men feel better. And around 2015-ish, I started to realize, okay, this is something that's bigger than me.
Right.
All right, this is something that I have to really be calculated with. I can't there's no more posting like on the whim about random stuff. Like, I have to really calculate my message at this point. And then what I started to do is I started to incorporate me being a Black male into body positivity. Because at this time, body positivity was a very white female dominated thing. All you saw was like white curve models, white like body positivity influencers, and they were all just like white women that were like in this space. And I'm like, damn, this is tragic. Like, the most body positive woman I know is my mother. Like, she raised me to be body positive. I have all these women in my life, all these aunts and uncles and all these people in my life that have always been body positive. And I feel like within the Black community, we've always embraced stretch marks. We've always embraced like curves. We always embraced, people having different shades and coming in different forms. We've always done that. It wasn't really a new thing for me within my circle, if that makes sense, right? So, I'm on the opposite side of it, where I'm like not only the only male, but I'm like pretty much the only Black person that's really pushing this narrative. It was very lonely at times, because I felt like a lot of people that were in a part of the body positivity movement were kind of ignoring my presence and ignoring the influence that I had, and not really taking me as serious in a way, maybe thinking that, just because he's a Black guy, like, he thinks that he could just come in here and take our space. Like, no, like, this space was already here before y'all even started this. Like body positivity has existed within our community for years. We just didn't have a term for it. It was just love. And over time, my voice started to matter more and more to people. And it started to be like, okay, well, that's that side of body positivity, but let's look at this side. Let's look at the male side. Let's look at the Black side. I just felt very fortunate enough to last as long as I have in this era, in this, I guess, community, or I don't know what you want to call it. Because I mean, people say it's a fad. It's a fad. I'm like, bro, how is being confident in who you are a phase? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, because I guess it's profitable for us to not love ourselves or be as confident as we should be.
Of course.
You said a lot about it being a very white space, a very feminine, female-dominated space. What were your tactics to make sure that you were being seen?
I would have other white female body positive influencers reach out to me. Okay. And, you know, they would like show me love. Like there was some of them that honestly would show me love and be like, you know, I appreciate what you're doing because this space needs, you know, representation for everybody. And, you know, for me, I had a lot of other white female body positivity influencers that would like post me on their stories or like give me like a shout out in like a post. And that didn't give me any validation. Right. But what that did is it would help other people that were not familiar with the other side. They would then get a glimpse of like, oh wait, body positivity isn't just for women. At first, when I first started my blog in like 2012, 2011, I like had like a lot of hate from like a lot of men. A lot of men would like reach out to me, you know, like those gym rat kind of guys. And they would like try to like, you know, be like, dude, like, if you're so insecure about your body, you need to go, you know, lose weight and stuff. I'm like, dude, the point isn't for me to lose weight. Like this is the body that I like have. Like I've always been a bigger guy. I've always been like over 200 pounds ever since I was like in 8th grade. That's just who I am. So for me, it was like trying to get men to understand and really get rid of the toxic version of what they thought masculinity was. Yeah. And how they feel about what a masculine body looks like. Because for me, although I was trying to preach body positivity for everybody, I was really trying to reach men. Because there's like a lot of men that just are very hung up on the fact that I need to have this amount of muscle, I need to have like this, I need to be taller. And then, you know, I was reading this article the other day that GQ wrote, and there's like a surgery now for men where they can get their femurs broken and be like 6 to 8 inches taller.
Yes, I saw that and I said, oh, the world.
That's wild. I'm like, okay, so women are getting BBLs, men are getting their legs broken to be taller. Like, this is crazy.
What tips would you give to a Gen Z or a young male who's looking to step out of the status quo and like define their own personal style?
I have 2 things that I live by. I say dress for functionality, but style for personality. Okay. And what I mean by that is that, like, if you live in a place where it's always hot, it's like you need to dress for functionality. Like there's no reason for you to be wearing a Prada coat and you live in Arizona. Like, why? What I've noticed from a lot of guys don't dress for functionality. They dress for clout, they dress for labels, they dress for like the hand claps. But it's like, okay, you're dressing for the hand clasp, but are you actually comfortable with who you are in that? Because you could spend all this money on this outfit, but then the guy next to you could be wearing stuff from Target and feel way better than you, have way more confidence, and exude all these different things. One of my friends used to say in college, it's not about the car, it's about the nigga that's in it.
Yep.
I used to be like, damn, that's true though. Cause like, you know what I mean? I'm like, that's facts, right? So it's like, it's not really about the clothes, it's about who's in it, right? So it's like dressing for functionality than styling for personality. And I feel like everybody's personality is different. There's some men that like bright colors. There's some men that like hats. There's some men that like jewelry. There's some men that like different things. But I feel like you should dress for functionality and then find different things that fit your personality and associate that with your style. And I also tell men to not be afraid of what you think other people think. Yeah. Okay, if you want to wear something, but your first thought is, well, what if somebody says something to me? Then you already lost. You already lost the game, because you should not be worried about what anybody else thinks about you whenever you put on your outfit. You should feel confident in it, because what people notice is confidence. When you wear something, somebody can tell if you're confident in it. it's very evident. So I tell people to like just dress for yourself. Don't dress for what society thinks about you. Because if I did, I wouldn't be wearing all these like quote unquote people say goofy wide brim hats and wearing bright colors and wearing like a pearl necklace. Like, I don't care. I can rock pearls. Why not? Pearls are for girls. No, pearls are for oysters.
Yeah.
Okay, pearls for oysters. All right, you know what I mean? Like
we've taken it out of its natural habitat now. It's
all right. So like I would just encourage any man, no matter what their age is, no matter where they're from, to just dress for themselves. And a lot of people have trouble finding their personal style, and somebody that's really struggling to even find their personal style, like they have no fashion sense. I would tell them to start off with basics. Start off with like a couple of basic things that they like. Maybe it's like a good pair of denim, a fresh pair of like Air Force One. I don't know, like, just something that makes them have like a strong base. And then you build off of that base. And before you know it, you'll start rocking like, like a little flannel over it. Then you'll buy a little hat. Then you'll buy some rings, and you'll just develop a style over time. And like evolution is like a real thing within the human species, right? Like I look at stuff that I wore back in 2012 whenever I started my blog. I'm like, shit, y'all would not catch me at none of that right now. But at that time, that's what made me feel good and had me, feeling great. But now, nah, no sir.
I feel like I need to grow in that area because I still look back at my outfits from like 2010. I'll be like, oh, I did that. I knew where I was going. I still feel those outfits.
Yeah.
I'm delusional. It's okay. I understand that. Oh, okay. You rock some iconic outfits. Do you have a particular outfit for you that kind of represents your journey to self-love?
I do. So my whole fashion blog time, I never found a really good pair of denim until about 2016-ish, where I found out the Levi's, I think is it the 511, where it's like the tapered skinny, where it's like you have enough room in your thigh, but like from the knee down, it's like tapered.
Okay.
Because what I used to do, I used to got like boot cut jeans, and I used to have to take them to my tailor and get like a taper done so it could like fit from like the knee down and like a little like slimmer area. I mean, I could wear skinny jeans, but I'm not gonna lie, I'll probably look crazy. I mean, I just got a lot going on from like the knees to like the waist. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just a lot, you know what I mean? I would just be looking crazy. So for me, it was like about like, that was really when I was like, damn, like I can wear anything around a good pair of denim, and then I always was into hats. So there was like a gray hat that I have. So there's this hat. This is like one of my first hats. And this is the one that I wear all of the time. It's like gray, so it goes with everything, like black, navy, anything, right? And I got like these charms on there, like school-to-row charms. And then there's like a feather that's glued, that's sewed in on this side. And then there's like a feather on this side. So it's real like simple, but it has like a little Kelvin flair to it, right?
Yeah.
So I pretty much wear this hat with almost every outfit. Like it's like one of my go-to hats. And honestly, just a good pair of all white shoes.
Yeah.
And that really was like my foundation for like a confidence boosting outfit. Like whenever I'm in doubt, good denim, gray hat, white sneakers, and a good fitting shirt. Even though I am very body positive, I don't want to give this notion that I'm like this 100% confident person all of the time, that I don't have bad days, that I don't have days where I wake up, I'm like, man, yeah, I wish I looked like Michael B. Jordan. you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna cap. Like, there are days that I feel in that way, but then I get over it. And I'm like, well, I want to be Kelvin Davis. Why would I want to be Michael B. Jordan? That's what's really important, is like us acknowledging the fact that, okay, we are body positive, we are confident in who we are, but there are days where we don't.
Yeah.
And how do we come back from those days?
If you were to highlight, let's send out some love. If you were to highlight 3 body positive creators.
Okay. Number 1 would be Jessamine Staley. I love her. And what's funny is that like we actually became internet friends because she lives in North Carolina. I live in South Carolina. And we actually connected through actually living close to each other. And then I realized how body positive she was and her yoga space and all that stuff. And we kind of clicked on that. I feel like she really is like that woman when it comes to like Black female body positivity is like she really is out there. Like prior to Lizzo, prior to all that, like it was her. The second person I would have to say is Tess Holiday would be a close second. A Holiday definitely was like one of the OG like fat girls that put on body positivity for fat women and like was all about like, you know, it doesn't matter what size you are. And then number three, I'm going to give it to another guy in the space, which is his name is Zach Miko. And me and Zach, we kind of arose in the same time in like the modeling world. He gets a lot of appreciation for being like one of the first big and tall models signed to IMG and all that stuff. A close tie with him would be a guy named Dexter Mayfield, which he's a Black dancer and he was like one of the first plus size dancers for Taylor Swift. He's like a bigger guy.
Yes, I know who exactly you're talking about.
Yeah, so he put it on in a way for like people of size or like fat men that can dance, can be everywhere and be out there. And he was also a host on some dance show recently. And, you know, him having that representation and having that spotlight just encourages other fat Black boys to just be themselves. Like, you don't have to lose X amount of weight to fit into like a beauty standard. Like, if you want to lose weight for yourself and for your health, that's good. But if you're doing it just to fit a beauty standard, you're doing it the wrong way.
What figures, I know you mentioned your mother, which
Yeah.
Are there any other influential Black figures in your life, past, present, that have shaped your personal style or helped you really fall in love with yourself?
100%. I have a top five. Number one, James Brown, because I feel like for me, James Brown made it cool for like Black men to wear suits and get sweaty and dance in them. You know what I'm saying? Like he made it strong, right? And then Michael Jackson, of course, because Michael Jackson was very eccentric, very eclectic. He would wear like glitter. Like, I mean, before that, I don't think I knew any Black man that would wear a pair of like rhinestone socks. And then Pharrell Williams, as crazy as this man could be sometimes, Kanye West, good Lord. As crazy as that man can be sometimes, I'd be like, Kanye.
Style with him. He'd be doing things with his clothes, and we could appreciate it.
Yeah, strong. So Kanye is a strong number four. And number five, I would give it to the Migos. Because the Migos, I feel like really, for like a certain generation, help kids understand that like, you don't have to be so thuggish. Like you can wear these cool clothes and you can wear like, you know, these awesome things and still be like a cool kid, you know? Kind of what like Pharrell did for our generation.
As the first big and tall, Black big and tall model for Target and Gap, how do you feel like that experience changed the trajectory of your career or progress within the fashion industry?
I feel like it definitely elevated my influence. It definitely elevated my sense of like importance in the fashion industry. Because I feel like a lot of people that are in the fashion industry, sometimes you don't get respected until other brands highlight you or respect you in some kind of way. And it's unfortunate, but it's like until like a brand, you know, puts their hands on you and say, you know, you are our guy or you are our woman, a lot of people don't give you the respect that you deserve. You know, and I feel like a lot of my respect and a lot of acknowledgement of the things that I've done over years really got noticed and elevated to a different heights whenever I became the first, you know, Black big and tall model for Target and Gap. Because it was one of those things where there was a moment where I was like, okay, I've been doing this, and as much as I would like to be the face of a brand and do all these things, like I kind of want to be in the background and like let other people be the face. But then again, I was thinking like, okay, if I don't do it, then who else is going to do it? Like I have to be the first at something, so that way it can open up the door for other Black big and tall models to make it.
Kelvin, thank you so much. Kelvin continues to break modeling standards and push fashion industries to be more inclusive for all body types, genders, races, as you can see from our conversation here. With that said, do you have anything coming up? Where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Kelvin Davis and on Facebook at Notoriously Dapper. And then my blog is notoriously.dapper.com. And you can buy my book anywhere books are sold, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, anywhere. It is called Notoriously Dapper, How to Be a Modern Gentleman with Manners, Style, and Body Confidence. Strong.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. We can't wait to have the next episode. See you again.